Scubs here. Got an update on my Rave 140 trigger and my Smith & Wesson M&P 1522. Uh, First thing I suggest is same thing I did. I went on, did a search for an animation on the AR-15 trigger animation, and I looked exactly how AR-15 triggers operate, which is a lot of information there. You can see that makes more sense when I explain what the problem is. But basically, my disconnector was almost seized up. It had no spring operation at all. So the hook on the hammer would just come back and slam directly into the disconnector, and it wouldn't latch because the spring tension on the disconnector is just so, or spring tension, or just bound up. Because actually, I just put some oil down there, and then I'm working it a little bit. I got like a piece of a metal tubing, very gently slide it over top of the disconnector, and you can. There's a spring tension on the disconnector. That's what's when the hammer comes back when it's fired. It slams into that disconnector. Disconnector is supposed to snap back under spring tension and then lock the hammer, even though you got the trigger pulled. So the disconnector holds the hammer even when you got the trigger pulled until you reset. But initially, my disconnector was almost, you couldn't even move it. It was like solid. Now with some oil and just by doing this, I've loosened it up. Though it still has a lot of spring tension. I may have to actually change the disconnector spring. I compared this with my Springfield Armory St. Vic 223, which is an awesome AR-15, and its disconnector is a fifth the tension of this thing. You can just reach your finger in there and easily push it back with your finger. This thing, you still can't push it back with your finger. It hurts. You can't push it back with your finger. It actually takes a piece of tubing here just to know that it actually operates with spring tension. That's way too heavy. But here's the operation of the trigger. Start from a full cock. Shoot. Let me get on here. Shoot. Hammer goes forward. I'm still holding the trigger. Hammer comes back. That just overcame the disconnector spring tension. Now I ease out with the trigger. Reset. Pull the trigger again. Forward. Holding the trigger. It has to overcome that disconnector spring tension to latch. Let off the hammer or let off the trigger. Reset. Pull. Holding the trigger. Reset. That's how it's supposed to operate. So the whole problem was simply the tension of this disconnector under the spring tension. It's better than it was without the oil. The oil helped a lot. It may actually function now in the rifle, though I think it could still be a lot less tension and still function better. Maybe over time that'll loosen up some. Be careful. It's hardened steel, so it's probably brittle. You don't want to snap it off. So just very gently, it's only a quarter-inch movement. You're just working it. Hopefully, it's still way more than the Springfield Armory. I hope that works. It's not going to be that simple to change that disconnector spring. I don't know how you got to pull out the whole guts of the trigger mechanism, which I don't want to do. Thanks for listening. Hopefully that helps somebody.